everybody, Jennifer from Scrapping Under the Influence. So this tutorial is going to be a little bit different. I'm sure you've seen on the website at Country Craft Creations the Heartfelt Creations Insta-Albums. There's an 8x8, which is what I have here, and there's also a 12x12. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of pre-made albums. I've got a few, and with the exception of probably the Graphic 45 Traveler's Notebooks, just because they're really easy to customize as opposed to like the Doodlebug and the Simple Stories have the covers that go with those are more like leather, kind of a faux leather or something that you can't do a whole lot to them. Whereas the Graphic 45 ones, you can decorate them, you can paint them, you can ink them. They're amazing. However, most other pre-made albums are kind of not so good. Either they're not consistent in their measurements, they're not usually made of good material or of good heavy cardstock like you would want from something like that, or you know, I've got a couple of one particular kind in the cabinet over there that they're super heavy, like chipboard layer, like super thick, but the minute you try to put an extra flap or a pocket or any kind of embellishment on there, it causes the whole album to alligator. So not usually a fan, but these are a little bit different. They're definitely better made. So we're going to walk through this together. Sorry for the noise. I wanted to leave it intact before I got in here and started messing around with this. So bear with me one second. But like I said, they're 8x8 and they're perfect for the 8x8 collections from Country Craft Creations. So we're going to use Plaid Pumpkin on this because I've had this since it came out. I have not had a chance to use it. I know I've got more of the 8x8 of the Book Lover, but I'm not sure where it is. So by the time we actually start cutting, I may have found it. But for now, we're just going to talk about the album. So it's kind of cool. So every page on here, including the spine, not the back cover, but I mean, that's fairly obvious. It's going to be 8x8. It gives you the measurements that you need to cut your pattern paper to mat the album. Very, very cool. This is incredibly sturdy, lightweight chipboard, so the album itself isn't too heavy. You can see when we look at the top here, you know, we've got pages and flaps and different things in here, but they've left space so you can embellish these, you can decorate these. Tamara actually just got their packages of craft cardstock that match their books exactly. So if you wanted to add additional flaps or things to it, you can get that and it will match perfectly. I'm not super concerned about it because chances are if I'm going to add flaps, I'm going to do it in such a way that it's not going to be obvious that they're a different color. So another thing it does, so this red circle with the 1, this is where it suggests you place a magnet to help hold your book closed. Okay, so when we get in here, you'll see, so we have 1 here and 1 here. So it wants you to put your magnet here and here to hold your book closed. For right here, so this all folds in like so, it wants magnet number 2 here and here. Okay, down in there to hold that section closed. Now, I haven't tried this yet. I have the basic gray magnets. I know there are some Heartfelt magnets. Tammy doesn't have them in the store, but they are bigger than what than the basic gray, the big basic gray. So I'm not sure. I mean, this is, you know, pretty heavy cardstock that's in, you know, in several layers of it. So I don't know how well that would actually hold at this point, just because it is a smaller magnet than I'm sure what they're thinking you're going to use. So chances are I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably going to use ribbon or something else for closure for that section. But since we're here, so again, you've got your measurements. So 6 by 8, 6 by 8. This folds out this way and this way. There's a couple of other, oh, there's where it wants your other number 2, isn't it? Actually, I've got 3 spots that it shows a number 2, so that's interesting. We'll figure it out. All right, so we've got good sized flaps here. So, you know, your matting for the front and back of this would be 6 by 6. It would be 6 by 8 for the front and back of that. It's left a decent gusset in here that you could add some embellishments and things here, and you're not going to have to worry about this pooching out or being too tight, which I know is something in designing albums I struggle with at times. I don't know why. I just have like this mental block some days. So 8 by 8, 4 by 8, and then of course, you know, this would be just your 8 by 8 again. So it's very, very easy. So these would be really good if you need something quick. Like, I know a lot of people prefer the decorating and the matting and all of that. I prefer the construction of the bases. And if it was up to me, I would just do that and not ever mat them. But, well, not always, sometimes. But, you know, this would be a good one if you needed a really quick album that, you know, maybe it takes you a little longer on the construction, but you're a whiz at the matting and the decorating. This is definitely the thing for you. Or if you needed to make several albums and you wanted them all the same, you know, you can buy these. The 8 by 8 are $29.99, which honestly, for I think is really a pretty good price point, because by the time you figure in, you know, if you're buying artisan cardstock and you're buying your chipboard and the glue and the tape and the time it takes to build this, that's probably roughly what it may cost you, just depending on what you're doing. So this side we've got 8 by 8 again, and we've got another marking for a magnet there. And then we've got this little piece, and this folds. I mean, this thing folds way out. This is really neat. And we've got a 5 by 8 there. And then again, we've just got these nice big pages that you can do photo match, you can do whatever. And then we've got big flaps there. This opens up down this way, and you've got another big flap there. If you had the additional paper, you could absolutely put pockets and things in here. I know that the Heartfelt papers that are available in the store, a lot of them have elements and things that are sized specifically for their albums, for different things on their albums. So just another thing to consider. So I am going to stop this for a minute, see if I can find my book paper, because I really want to use it, but this one will do in a pinch. And I'll be right back. All right, we're going to go with Plaid Pumpkin, because part of what my goal was with this video was to show you how to utilize one of these albums. And since this is a brand new package, so I've got lots of sheets and there's a lot of big space in this album, we're going to go ahead and go with this. So I'm going to set my cover sheet aside. I'm going to set my tags aside. Sorry, my son interrupted me. What was I getting ready to say? Oh, just to show you the amount of time essentially it may take to put one of these together, because where you're not having to construct the album, this should go fairly quickly. So we're going to start out. I'm going to pick my paper for the front here. And because it needs to be 8 by 8, this is the 8 by 8 pad. That is going to fit on there perfectly. So we're going to go with that. I want to save that one for another place. Let me look here. Or that one. Actually, I think I want that one. All right, we're going to go with that one. And I realize it's March. It's not fall. But you know what? It's fine because this paper is so cute. It's so pretty, and I just have not had a chance to do anything with it up to this point. All right, so magnet. I don't think I'm actually going to do a magnet. I think I am going to go ahead and just do ribbon because that's going to be a lot easier. So go ahead and glue this down. I think I need to fix my glue bottle here in just a minute because it seems kind of tight. Okay, so there we go. So I think the way I'm going to approach this is we've got a lot of spaces where we need 8 by 8. So I think I'm going to go through and we're going to count those up just so we can kind of pull out the 8 by 8s that we want showcased on those pages. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lay down, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 places we need an 8 by 8 sheet. So let's flip through. So we can do that one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Actually, it's on the back side of that one. I think instead of the back side of this one, I think we're going to go with that one there. Just kind of seeing what I've got going here. I think I want that plaid instead. And that one's good. That one's good. And I think I'm going to put that one in there. Okay, so we've got our, I'm going to move this for now. All of our 8 by 10. So let's figure out, whoops, where we want these to go. I know for sure I want this one to go over here because this is definitely probably my favorite one of the prints in this paper pack. Okay, nope. So let's go ahead, get some glue on this one. Go ahead and put that down. So these are sized to where you end up with about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, which is typically how I mat my albums anyway. Okay, so let's go in here. So since these two are going to be right next to each other, let's find a couple of prints that it makes sense that you would put them together. So really, it's probably going to be, no, I don't think so. Let's do, there we go, I like that. In here, and again, like I said, I'm gonna kind of ignore where the magnets are because quite honestly, especially on the inside here, it really kind of lays decently flat. And I'm sure that's just going to get better once you've got your paper down. And I did not prep anything ahead of time. We are doing all of this in real time. So this one needs the next. And I think I am going to do, actually I'm going to save those two for that other place in here. I think we're going to go with, oh, that would have been a good one. We're going to go with this one right here. So we've got spots there. I might have counted wrong. We might need one more, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So then we've got over here. And over there, I think I am going to just do this pretty little plaid, which is the back side of that one, so that'll work. So my goal last weekend was to get 3 tutorials done. Guess how many I got done? None! Because that's just how it's gone lately. Alright, so we need one here. So there, I think we're going to do that one. And really this craft on this album base works really well with this particular paper. Okay, so we got there, and we've got those two. So what I'm going to do on those two is we're going to do this one here, and we're going to do the little sunflowers up above it because they tie together. And of course, I mean, if you're cutting down 12 by 12, this is going to take you a little bit longer. But, you know, like I said, this is just absolutely tailor-made for the 8x8 pads from Country Craft Creations. To be able to get a project done quickly that's going to be really, really pretty. That one's going to go there. Alright, so we're going to do the green plaid, or are we going to do this one? I love this one with these little tiny, like, dandelion fluff thingies. I don't know what they're called. I think I'm going to do the dandelion fluff ones because I think that was, I think I overcounted. Oh well. Miscounted. I had one extra, but that's fine. And of course, you know, if you're inking your papers or anything like that, that's going to add some time too. But I don't typically get into all that. I don't want to say nonsense, but truly some days that's what it feels like. All right. So I think the next thing we're going to do is kind of look at our measurements. So we need 2 6x8 there. 2 more there, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total 6x8s. Okay, and that's a 4x8, so that's easy. On this side, we've got, so what we're at, what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, there's my other one. I knew I missed one. We'll count really quick and then I'll tack that one down. What was I at, 12? So 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's a lot of 6x8. And we've only got 2 spots here with the 2x8 that'll use whatever we cut off. So most likely what we'll end up doing, well, no, we're going to have something that's not super directional, so we'll be okay. All right, so let me get this one down. So really, even though it's not a huge album, there's enough large flaps in here that this is going to take a decent amount of paper. Okay. All right. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do our 2 little spots that are the 4x8 spots. So let's look at those. And what I can do, so this paper in the 12x12 is one that you cut down into 6x6 panels. So what I can do here is I can just cut this at 4 inches and then cut it again at 4 inches. And what I can do is mat it just like that. And we're going to take just a tiny bit off on this one. And that one's okay. I've got like a thing over there that's kind of in the way. And we're going to do the exact same thing on this other side. So all I did is cut it in half, and then on the one piece that we're leaving that kind of non-directional piece facing up, we're going to put that where you're going to cut an extra 1/8 of an inch off of that one, assuming you're using an 8x8 and you're doing something like this, or just, you know, in general on your projects that you do. That's typically how you would do that. Okay. Okay. So there's that one. We're going to do the same thing over here. So they're going to mirror each other. All right, so now we just need our back side on that. And I think I am going to take one of these here. Where did the one I was thinking of go? Actually, you know what? No, I'm just going to cut this one down to 4 inches. And use the back side. There we go. Easy peasy. Okay. So that whole bottom section in here is done, other than adding some photo mats. Maybe some flowers or something. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm probably going to end up digging into some of my dies and see what I can find. that I like. And we'll find something fun to cut for that. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so we got a 5x8 here. That's good there. We've got a 6x6 here and a 6x8, and then more 6x8, more 6x8. So the 5x8. Okay, so let's move on to our 6x8. So I had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wow, we may not have enough of this one paper, huh? 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so we need 18 pieces that we can cut a 6x8 out of. But let's see what we got over here. I may be digging out our 8x8 to supplement this a little bit, won't I? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How did I miss that one? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh my gosh, we do. We need a sheet of 12x12. All right, I'm going to dig out 12x12. I'll be right back. All right, so rather than dig out the 12x12 pattern, what we're going to do is another little trick that I do use fairly regularly. And I have the solids, the My Colors solids that do match this paper collection. So the two colors that I have are Grasshopper and Goldenrod. So I'm going to cut a couple of these. So I like how the Grasshopper looks on here. Actually, the Goldenrod's okay too, so we're going to do that. So I'm going to cut both of these to 8 inches. And then down to 6. So I can put these in a couple of spots that are maybe like the backs of other flaps. And then I'm actually going to take my little scrap here, and I'm going to cut that into 2 4x6s because we will put some photo mats in a couple of different places here. And I think I do want them to be colored rather than white. So we'll go with that for right now. And let's figure out where we want these other ones. So I'm going to put one here. And I think I am going to use the orange one here just because it's going to pick up the orange that's in there. Like to me, and I mean, of course, it's going to be different for everybody. To me, the green little dandelion fluff on this really kind of stand out. The orange don't as much. So I'm going to use that to kind of bring the orange out on that. Yeah, I'm really surprised how much, I mean, granted, it's really big flaps, so that's a big part of that. Okay, and then really just to tie it together, I think I'm going to do the same thing over here because I still have my 2 little tag sheets and I've got my little cut apart sheets. And I can always, I know I've got leaf dies. In fact, I've got a leaf like foil die that I might actually drag out and use on this. because that would be really pretty. Okay, so we're going to close this one, then this one, and then this one, like so. And we're going to go on this side. So on this side, we've got 6x8s here and here. So I think I'm going to do the greens on this top and bottom here. And then I've got some more pages if we need to cut a couple more of these, because we might want to. We might not. I don't know. But it's just going to kind of break up that pattern paper. Give you a good spot for obvious photos. If you wanted to add like white photo mats on top of these, you absolutely could do that too. And that would look really nice. We'll see, I might do that too, because I have a whole bunch of scraps I'm trying to work through. So we might do that too. All right, so that brings us down to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 12, 14. So 14 6x8. I like that number way better, because then I can, I can leave my cute little cut aparts intact for now. And if I wanted to use one side of them, I could, because I really like that one. So I might go ahead and use one of those. And then my other one has, oh yeah, okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull out those two and set them aside so we don't accidentally cut them. And we can use these for other things. So one thing I did want to do, just because I like how it looks. We've got, oh, and then we've still got that out here, and we've got our spine pieces as well. So yeah, we're going to definitely end up with some more of the solid. So we've got this little spot over here that's a 2x8. So I am going to cut, honestly, I'm just loving not to have to sit and measure all these pages, quite honestly. I'm going to cut this little 2x8 here, and then I can flip this over and put this one down there. And they're complementary and tie together. Because what I'm going to end up with is a whole bunch of little 2x8 strips by the time we cut all of these other mats. So I do think I am definitely going to cut another one of the My Colors. But the other one I'm going to do, I saw it in here and I don't know where it went because I missed it, that pattern, the first time through. This one. This is really pretty, this watercolor. So I'm going to do 2 inches for the back side of that flap, of the little flap there. And we're going to do that side up on that one. And then in here we have this 6x6. So I'm going to cut this one down to 6 inches by 6 inches. So I've got a little piece left. And then I've got my first of 2 6x6s. And I think what I'll probably do on the back side of that one is so that will sit a little bit more flat while I get this one down. I think what I'm going to do on the back side of this one is I'm going to take our little 2x6 piece here, and I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of this, and then if I can get it in here and have it not slide on me, I am going to use this with one of my 4x6 mats from over here. And this time I am going to use the green because there's a green stripe in this plaid. So this is going to go on here like this. Okay. And this one here. And I might have to wrap this up later because we've got a play tonight and we need to leave here in about 25 minutes. But we'll keep going until then because we might make it. All right, so there's that. And again, we could do a white photo mat. We can do some sort of decorating here. All right, so let me close this up the right way because we've also got this part. So that's what I'm looking to try to decide. No, because I don't want to. Let me see here. What do we want? What's going to look nice with that would be pretty, but then that's going to cut this like right here or right there, which I don't really want to do. Oh, that's that's the same one. Okay, so this one, we could do that, or we could do it from this side, which I think is what we're going to do. Because we're going to cut this one to 3x8. And then this one, because it's not directional, will go on our 5x8 flap on the inside. And this, I think, ties in quite nicely with the front here. Okay, so these are 1.5, so we'll have 2x8 strips that will work perfectly on there, and then we'll decide if we want to actually mat something on the back of this or not, because I don't know that we need it. We'll see when we get to that point. All right, so then come back in here wherever my, no, it's on this other side. There's my 5x8. I knew it was here somewhere. And I think we will do that one there. Actually, that kind of, no, we're going to do it in here because we also still need to mat that inside flap, so we'll need another 3x8. Okay. All right, so this whole inside right there is done. We'll get our other one here. So let's go back to our pattern. And we'll see. I think we're going to go with that one because it's not directional, which is key. And I think it will tie together nicely. So this 5x8, let's not bump the mouse with the book and turn off the recording, because that would actually, surprisingly, not be the first time I've done that, sadly. Okay, close that up and that up, and then our 3x8 will go here. And that ties in with that, so that's perfect. Honestly, until I pulled this out today, I forgot how much I actually loved this paper collection. Because, you know, things get away from you and time gets away from you, and next thing you know, it's March. And the next retreat is coming up in a month and a half. And you still haven't released anything with the paper that was released in the last retreat 6 months ago, which here we are. Okay, so now then, we're just down to just our 6x8s, aren't we? Yes, we are. So we might get this done before we go to our play tonight. And that will be amazing. All right. So let's look at, I'm going to move those out of the way here. Put the lid on my glue for a minute while we get some things cut. Maybe we're going to get the lid on my glue. All right. So let's look at what we've got going on so far. Okay, so we need to mat front and back there. So we could do, that one could work there because it's going to cut off where the seeds are. So I think we're going to go with that one there. On this side, we've already used those over here. So this is tying into this. And then we've got that one there. So really, we could tie this in over here like so. So I think that's what we're going to do. So let's cut both of these down to 6x8. Set my little 1-inch strip to the side. Okay, so that one's going to go there. This one's going to go on the other. Go there, and we'll go here. All right, so now we're going to look at this spot and this spot. Let's see what we've got going. So I've got this fleur-de-lis, which I don't think I want there. I'm going to save that for another area. So we've got this one again. We've got that side of it, which we could do right there. That actually would be kind of cute. So I think we're going to do that. So that backside's done, that backside's done. There you go. So this whole center piece right here is all done. So we need something over here. And I think I am going to go with that one. That's the other thing. 8x Graphic 45 would also work with these. think you get about the same number. I think she does, I think they do 8 different patterns, which is what Country Craft Creations does. So there you go. All right, so that section's done. This piece is done. There you go. This whole piece is done. You could mat these little gusset pieces if you wanted to. I'm not going to. So on this side, we are down to this one and these 2. So these 2, I think, is where I'm going to do that, maybe. No, I think I'm saving it for the other side where there's more orange. Okay, so this one, we could do that and that. We can do, oh, there we go. I like that. So let's do that. So this pretty purple plaid is the back side of her cut aparts, which is unfortunate because I love this plaid. Oops, there we go. And see, that's the other thing. None of these flaps and flips and pages and whatnot are crooked. And there is one company in particular that I am not going to name that does some pre-made albums, and almost all of them are crooked. And it drives me absolutely just nuts. So there you go. Okay. All right, so this would be a good place that we could put some photo mats when we come back. All right, so we got this one here. And again, just to tie it in. So looking all the way across here, I kind of think that that's what we want on this one. I think this needs to carry across. So again, 6 by 8. Glad I didn't try to use the book lever because I do not have the full 8 by 8 left of that. I did use a fair amount of it on my reading journal, my book journal, so all right, let's just double check we didn't miss anywhere. We're good there. And like I said, these are, especially with, you know, the nice Country Craft Creations paper on them, these are laying perfectly flat and I'm not having to do anything to them. So, you know what? That's fine. That's one less magnet you have to use, which is really hard for me to say because I love my magnets, as you all know. I would do that over ribbon every single time. Okay, so we need that one in here. Okay, so this is what, let's turn that over. This is what I've got left. So, I could do this one on this side. I don't want to do that one because that one's what's on the front of the book. Or I can do this one. I think I'm going to go with this one. Probably should have done it the other way so that the open side was facing in, but that's okay. Personally, I want to save that little cluster of pumpkins for somewhere else. Like right here. Or right here, because we've got those two that we need to do as well. So Now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I have 4 pieces here that, what did I do? Did I pick up my cut parts from the wrong side of the pile? Yes. Okay, so in here, because this is all done. Verify, yes, we're good there. So on this one, I think I'm going to mirror what I did up there. So let me find a piece, one of my little 2x2 strips from the side here. Not that one. I've got a 2x2 of that one, so I could do it with that. I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another sheet of my green cardstock, and I'm going to cut it to 4 inches by 8 inches, which means I'm just going to cut 4 inches off this end. And again, we have another photo mat if we want it. And we're going to do the exact same thing that we did on that top flap. And that's going to tie together really, really nicely. So I'm going to do it opposite of what's above. And then I need to take an 1/8 off of this one. Okay. We're doing good. I got about 8 minutes till I have to leave. And we're about matted. All right. So we've got 3 there. 4. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this one down to 6. And it's going to go here. And I'm going to cut this one down to 6, and it's going to go on the opposite side. This is such pretty paper. The colors in this one are just my absolute favorite. Okay, so got that one there. And we've got this one here. So I'm showing 53 minutes, and we spent about 10 minutes at the beginning of this talking about the book itself. Okay, so that's done, that's done. We just need these 2. So, super easy. I think I want this one on here. And then we'll put this one over here. And again, I'm going to turn it over to our nice little plaid on this side, because again, it's going to pick up the green. And really, just if nothing else, is kind of giving you an insight into how I decide to mat my projects. Because really, this is what I do. But there's a lot of measuring and cutting and, you know, things involved. So typically, that's partially why I don't mat on camera. So we need 4 pieces that are 8 by 1.5. So I'm going to get in here. Oh, that's pretty. Let's do that one. going to do it from that side. Yes. Okay, so that one can go there. And I had that other one that had the little basket with the pumpkin. There it is. All right, so that one. And that one I'm actually going to cut a little off of that side. Oops. And then a little bit off this other side, so I don't lose too horribly much of that basket. And that one's going to go over in there. Ah, I love it. Okay, and then we need something for those outside ones. And with that, I'm just going to find probably two the same. I think I'm actually going to use that one because I love that one. And it's nice and non-directional, so we don't have to worry about that. And those will be ready to go on the outside, but I need ribbon on there before I put those down. Or something. I thought I had like a big metal like graphic 45 closure. I'm gonna have to look for it. Okay, so there's that one. Here's this one. You could mat your larger gussets on your pages. I am not going to. I'm going to leave them as is. Again, because it kind of helps break things up. But there you go. About 45 minutes, and this is almost 100% matted. I just need to cover my ends after I get some ribbon underneath them, which I have something handy like right here that we can just dig into. Oh, I like that. There we go. Yes, this is actually how I store a lot of my seed planting. I'm sure some of you are horrified. I apologize. But, yeah, it works. And since it's supposed to be crinkly, it's fine. Alright, so we grab a couple little pieces of score tape. And I'm going to put that about right there. And I'm going to pull that off. Put that down. And then glue one of my spine pieces. Okay, as far as decorating this thing goes, that I am not going to sit and torture you with because it takes me literally forever. I am the slowest decorator on the planet. Okay, so I'm going to give myself a decent amount there. And one more little piece of score tape. About the same place. Oops. All right. Put our mat on this side. And there we have it. Fully matted. Add some decorating, as much or as little as you want. Depending on your paper, it may not be a whole lot. And there is our project. All right, so hopefully you guys stuck with me for the last hour. If not, I totally understand. As always, please subscribe, ring the bell if you want to be notified when I post new videos. You can also find me on Facebook under Scrapping Under the Influence. I have a fan group of I Scrapped Under the Influence on Facebook as well. And that's just a really simple way for you to share any projects that you make following my tutorials. And as always, Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, you can find my tutorials and the rest of the absolutely fabulous design team there. And then I'm also on Instagram under Scrapping Under the Influence. And I do post some different stuff on Instagram than I do other places. That's where most of my cards kind of end up going. So, as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, so this time I changed our walkthrough to the very end because the whole point in doing this was just to show you how easy these albums are to use and to put together if you need a quick project. So my decorating that I did is fairly minimal. I used all of the two sheets of the cut aparts, so the tags and then the other little tags, I don't know what you call them, that were in the 8x8 collection. Literally, this is what I've got left. That's it, out of that whole 8x8 collection. So what I ended up doing on the front, I was trying to figure out what I wanted, and I realized I had these little graphic 45 flowers, and these are some newer ones that they just came out with, and there's 2 or 3 different shades that they come in, but this was the yellow and orange, and I realized it matches this like perfectly. So I did build some flowers and add some greenery there. I fussy cut that from the cover sheet in the paper pack. And I then, of course, fussy cut all of these other little elements and backed them on the olive green cardstock just so that they kind of stand out. So I did use my leftovers for some photo mats here and there. We've got, you know, the little cut apart pieces here and there. I didn't put them everywhere, like, because it really didn't need it. But there we go. That's all going to close up and close up. And then on this side, I've got one of them over here, one here. I did a couple in here. One of my photo mats. I left this one just as is. I did that here and also here so that they kind of mirrored each other, just because I'd been kind of doing that through the whole project. And then these fold down, and there you go. So they're really fun to work with. I'm honestly surprised how much I enjoyed working with this little pre-made album, because normally I'm not a huge fan. So there you go. Super, super easy to do. Obviously you can use whatever paper you want, but just to kind of give you an idea, if you'd seen them in the store and you weren't sure what to do with them, there's an idea for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.